Welcome back into Delmarva Sports Insider. Now, we looked at the top game in Delaware, but now it's time to move a little south and check out our top game from Maryland.
That's right, North Carolina and Decatur. The Bulldogs really haven't had a test this year. I don't think really any of their games have been close, but they're on the road now in Week 5.
Yeah, that's right. They're taking on Stephen Decatur with a strong ground attack, possibly, this team, the Seahawks, able to rack up some rushing yards on the Bulldog defense. We'll see.
That's right. Well, let's get down to it. Down in Berlin, it was Decatur looking to hand North Carolina their first loss of the year, but from the start, all Bulldogs.
Casey Bird rolling out, and he hits JB Brown in stride for the 40-yard score.
Sauce.
Now, we talk about how much they score, but surprisingly, guys, that was North Carolina's first passing touchdown of the year, and they go up 7-0 early, and then Mr. Brown again, this time on special teams. The punt return for the touchdown, and just 4 minutes in, Brown has the Bulldogs up 14-zip.
My goodness, they're looking good. Yeah, that's all Caroline would need from there. Look at this passing catch from Bird to Tucker Stevens. Deflected, but Stevens stays with it, hauls in the one-handed catch. He'd get that into the red zone, which sets up this Will Manship. I've heard that name. Yeah,
scores a lot.
He scores a lot. 2 yards out. Bulldogs, they stay undefeated, 42-0, the win.
There you go, another shutout there. Guys, with Carolina's rushing attack, I mean, is there anything else to really talk about? I mean, they're amazing right now.
Yeah, I really don't think that they can get any better. They have Will Manship, you have J.B. Brown, you have Mr. Bildstein, Joey Bildstein in the backfield, and Bird can even scramble. So those are 4 people out of the backfield that can make an impact, and it's Week 5. They're undefeated, and they just threw for their first passing touchdown. Where do you see that happening for a team that has so many weapons? I just don't think that anyone's going to be able to touch them this year in the Bayside.
Last year on DSI, I picked against Coach McCormick in North Carolina. And then I went to the game, and they won, and he had his 100th win as a coach that game. I will never pick against North Carolina ever again after meeting with Coach McCormick after that. You see what they can do on the rushing side of the ball. Now you see what they can do passing. It is a team to be reckoned with in the Bayside.
So fair to say you learned your lesson about picking against North Carolina.
And yes, and I speak to Coach McCormick with caution.
There you go. All right, standing by with a few more games from the Bayside is Drew Williams. Hey, Drew.
Thanks, guys, and we'll start things off right in Parkside with Parkside looking to hand Kent Island their first loss of the season. The Rams leading 14-0 with the ball. Elijah Bivens takes it down inside the 5-yard line with a carry down the right sideline, and then just a few snaps later, Bivens is going to keep it and just bulldozes his way into the end zone, taking a couple tacklers with him. Rams take the 21-10 lead. Kent looking for the answer, and Matthew Burnside, just a freshman, rolls out and fires down the field. The ball's tipped and falls into the hands of Trejuan Simmons. Parkside forcing a big turnover, but they could not capitalize. This time the Bucks threatening Isaiah Shockley with the carry up the middle. Good for 6. The 2-point conversion will be no good, so Parkside still carries a 21-16 lead. Kent would get an opportunity to win this one in the closing seconds. Burnside with a heave, but Jamal Matthews and Marcus Yarns are there to break up the pass. Parkside takes down undefeated Kent Island 21-16.
Because my line was blocking, and they said just trust your blockers, so I was just trusting them the whole night. A lot of momentum, and we going to rivalry next week, so I mean this game is over now, so it's on to the next week.
Coming the game, we knew we had to come in, play physical, but we knew if we did that, we were going to come out victorious. That's what happened.
2-2 Y-High visiting winless Washington, looking to spoil the Jaguars' homecoming. We would head to the closing minutes of the first quarter with no score. Y-High threatening inside the Washington 20. Khalil Evans throws one in the corner for Ronnie Satchel. He comes down with a gorgeous catch. Ref calls him out of bounds, so we remain knotted at 0-0. That is until the opening minutes of the second quarter. Jordan Briggs gets the handoff and finds the end zone from inside the 5-yard line. Y-High elects to go for 2, and they convert. Evans with the quarterback keeper. Y-High rolls Washington with a big second half, 58-0. Guys, back to you with the rest of the scores around the Bayside.
All right, Drew, thank you. Up north, Queen Anne's, that was a big one, 35-6 over Kent County. In Easton, a much-needed win. They've been on a slide as of late, 41-0 over Southern out of Anne Arundel County.
Yeah, look at these scores right here. Cambridge South Dorchester doing work. Man, look at the Vikings. 64-21 over Nandua. And then Colonel Richardson also doing some work there. I thought 64 would be a big number, but look at this. Colonel Richardson, 68-31 over Arcadia. That's a big score.
That is a big score, and I thought we saw the high scores of the night out of Delaware, but then 60-plus games in Maryland. But I want to talk to you guys about the Parkside game. Is it fair to call that an upset what they pulled off tonight?
I would say so. Kent Island was one of two teams who was undefeated coming in tonight. The other was obviously North Carolina. And Kent Island really has been unfazed. Yeah, they had that 7-0 win in Kent County, but coming in down here to Parkside, many thought that Kent Island would come out on top. Their running game, their defense, their quarterback play has all really been strong so far this year. No, not many blemishes. So for Parkside's defense to step up like that, a big win for Coach Riley and the Rams.
And I think for Coach Riley, the team that he has built this year has been a team that he has been anticipating for the last several years. They've been so close to the playoffs for the last few seasons that he knew who was coming up. He knew who his running backs were going to be. Brady Smith on the defensive side of the ball, anchoring that defense. So you see this team, and they want this win. They hear about Kent Island. A lot of people just kind of check that off as a win, and they wanted this win, and they got it. So that's setting up a big matchup next week against Bennett. And that is going to be a massive matchup here in the Bayside.
And just to add on top of that, Parkside has been on a roll ever since the second half of that Easton game on. I mean, their running game, their offensive line, their defense, their special teams. Something clicked for this team at halftime of that game. I'm not sure what it was, but they look like a completely different ball club with the same helmets up.
All right, so Jonah, Jeff, let me ask you, Parkside, contender or pretender?
Contender. Contender. 100% contender.
Oh, 100% a contender. You see that rushing attack, what they have?
There you go. All right. So they're right there.
Don't forget, later on in the show, we have many of those plays that we could put you into the top 5, so you don't want to miss that. Of course, our Player of the Week nominees, so many nominees that we have to roll out tonight.
That's true, and get ready for a fun-filled weekend at the beach. The annual Wine Fest is in town, and clearly people were enjoying themselves. Locals just raving about it.
This is Damian Ferragamo, head football coach at Kent Island High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.